Alrighty, I'm gonna give a little bit of commentary for the entire run. This one was pretty long. Uh, I cut out all the deaths, hopefully all of them. Maybe I forgot some of them. Um, yeah, so rules are pretty simple, melee only. That means, obviously, the very basic melee stuff that every single character can do, right? We're also gonna be able to use Stun Rod and for Jake, his hand-to-hand ability. Obviously, in certain parts of the game, we are forced to use weaponry, like in Chapter 4, where you have to shoot a few things on the bike, right? Like, you're forced to do those kind of things, or in Chapter 2, where you have to use a remote bomb to pull away the Usanok. But yeah, the start here is pretty simple. If you run quick enough for everything, you are not gonna get hit. My partner is a little bit slow. This is actually the footage from our very first try yesterday, or 2 days ago, I think. I just forgot to press record, so from the current run, I missed a few minutes of footage, so I decided to just use the old footage. But it's okay, it's only like 5 minutes or so. And then we have like the footage from the proper run. I just wanted this to be comprehensive. I was thinking of maybe just cutting out the parts that are not that interesting. But I don't know. I felt like uploading the entire thing and just cutting out the deaths and the practice, basically. We went into this kind of blind, I would say. We hadn't strategized too much. So a lot of these things we're gonna have to do first time. Now there were a little bit of things that I actually did practice, like in Chapter 2, how to get up the mountain, since we have no guns, but that is a topic for when we get to that. So here we can just do stealth kills, right? That's not a big deal. The start is all quite uneventful. It only gets a little bit more interesting once we actually get to the very first Usanok fight, which is very soon. We obviously want to make sure that we pick up all the healing items that we can. Now for the run we actually don't play New Game Plus, so that means our inventory didn't reset, but we did not use like a stocked up inventory of healing items or anything, as you can see, so we are starting like kind of from zero. So before we even get to the first snap fight, we get 2 green herbs and 1 red herb. Well, the red herb is only for Sherry. Jake cannot pick up the red herb since it's out of reach for him, actually. But yeah, so that is the only healing we'll have access to. Now, technically, you start the New Game Plus with 5 healing tablets instead of 0. But on the actual run that we did, I started with 4, so it's kind of how it's supposed to be. I also decided to just waste all my ammo on every gun, because the problem is when you have the stun rod equipped, you actually have a little bit worse mobility. Well, I would call it worse, but it's also kind of situational. So Jake and Sherry, when they have their melee weapons equipped, they have these weird sidestep thingies, and in a lot of scenarios, those are like inferior. So sometimes you might actually want to be on a gun just to have a better dodge roll for the side. And there's also a problem, as you can see here, the animation of the stun rod is super long. So actually, a lot of times you're better off just switching to a gun and stomping the enemy on their head, since that's a guaranteed kill anyway, so damage doesn't matter, and you're not locked into a super long animation. And the problem with the long animation is also that you actually don't have iframes, unlike Resident Evil 5, so enemies can hit you during that. But yeah, the stun rod is not really a great weapon, to be honest. Jake is the much superior character for sure. Here, I'm gonna wait a little bit. I give time for the Jake player to catch up, because if you like instantly run and you get to the door, you have like a bunch of enemies following, and those enemies respawn. Now I could have actually waited a little bit longer, but it's not a big deal. We just killed that one guy that followed. But technically, if you wait long enough that you and a Jake like get here at the same time, you can just use the corp door and proceed. Also, I have to say that the range of the stun rod is freaking terrible. The normal slashes feel so horrible to use. I miss so many of my hits. A lot of times it's easier to just set up melees with like slides or kicks. But yeah, you can just run through here. If you run fast enough right after opening the door, the turret will not hit you, so it's not a big deal. Now we have this little chase sequence. So yeah, for the people who don't know, No Hope is basically the highest difficulty of Resident Evil 6. It is kind of comparable to professional of other Resident Evil games. There's one major difference though. You cannot use any skills that you acquire in the game. And that is obviously a very, very big part of your power. Skills have a very big impact on you. And this is also where I cut to the footage of the proper run, since this is where I started recording. So here, when the guy here runs up, you can actually just melee him. If you walk behind him, you can insta-kill. But a slide will do the job too. We pick up the herb here. We get the red herb here, so we get a good amount of healing. Healing is basically the only resource we have access to, right? So it's very important to carefully manage it. You don't want to waste too much healing in the beginning of the game, because the last few chapters, especially the fourth one, can be very, very brutal. The third chapter can also be quite difficult, where you have to collect the emblems, or the coins, or whatever they are. But yeah, here it's quite simple, you just want to take out all the enemies. Now, Jake is a much better character actually at like dealing with like ranged enemies, or like engaging into melee combat from range, since he actually has like his running ability, and he can also dodge during that. On Sherry, you're a little useless, so a lot of times you're better off letting Jake take charge. Let him pull initial aggro, so enemies focus him, he can dodge, and then you can like follow up with support. Now, support will be a major theme here in this run. We will also see it here in the Usunak fight. The strategy we're gonna use is very, very simple. I will focus on the Chavo this one, and I will basically let the Jake have a 1v1 with the Usunak. So for people who don't know, and I didn't know that before either, Jake actually has the ability to... Also, as you can see here, I have a little bit of lag that I have to deal with. It's a bit unfortunate, but we are very far apart, so we have pretty high ping. So Jake actually has the ability to regularly stun Usunak. I believe it's with his upwards uppercut thingy, and I think it's with his sweep. But yeah, basically we just want to enable the Jake to get the 1v1 here, while we take care of the Jawas.
I don't think he's too keen on us leaving.
We'll just have to get over.
Obviously, we cannot make use of the explosive barrels. That would be what you usually do in No Hope if you play with guns. you would use basically all the explosive barrels, a lot of them. And if you use like 7 or something, you will like finish the fight. So yeah, basically here what I'm just doing is I'm like kind of holding the zone, the spawn points of the shovels. Just making sure that whenever they come, I will try to get them as fast as possible. As you can see, machine guns are a really big threat. They take your health really quick. Also, the lag is a little frustrating. And not just do they really hurt, they also knock you down. Every time you lose a health block, right? You basically get knocked down. And ranged enemies are basically the bane. Well, that was another little instance of lag. Should have gotten hit there. But hey, it is what it is. Okay, we wanna lean here against the wall. If you lean against the wall or if you lay on the ground, you increase your recharge. Which is also one difference in No Hope compared to Professional and the other difficulties. Your energy actually recharges slower. So stamina management is a pretty big deal as well in this run. And occasionally you might see me accidentally use very weird no stamina melees because I didn't realize. I'm still experimenting here a little bit with the stun rod, trying to see how easy can I get like head shots basically. But honestly it's a lot more reliable to just go for slide. Well, because I go far enough. That is. I'll also talk about how the guy kinda ignored my first attack to begin with. Always prioritize the machine guns. They're by far the highest threat. Also, quick attacks on the stun rod are freaking terrible, just saying. I think quick attacks in this run have killed me more than anything else, honestly. Quick attack is horrible. It does not track enemies like other weapons. It does lock you in a really long animation. And a lot of times, especially when you try to melee bosses, where it's like really important to, you know, have like tight timing. When you try to aim with the stun rod, because you have to aim to actually use it, right? You wanna aim and you wanna hit, and because the aim and the attack input are like so close together, because you try to be efficient with your time, right? You get like the quick attack out, and it kills you a lot of times, sadly. It's very unfortunate. I think that was like my biggest frustration in this run. So yeah, that is the first slug fight done.
I swear, this mission gets harder by the minute.
Yes.
But at least you're still safe. We've got a lot riding on us.
3 years ago, I thought I was gonna die in the jungles of South America. This bastard comes at me with a knife. Probably thought I wasn't even worth a bullet.
Why are you telling me this?
It's also generally not worth to always use it fully,
Last way you wanna go.
because a lot of enemies do way more damage,
We don't
so
get a
you
say in
lose
how
a
we
lot of
die.
health,
It's just
and
how it goes.
a lot of times going into dying state is
Kind of
more
what we
efficient.
signed up
You will
for,
see that
isn't
especially
it?
during boss
Dying
fights.
for money is one thing.
But also the fact that
Dying for no
at
good
certain
reason?
points in the story, right, like chapter transitions, you fully heal yourself.
Tell me what that big friggin' behemoth
So it can be
was,
very
why
nice
he's trying
to
kill me?
try
That
to
thing is
save
just
your
like
healing
a
items
a bioorganic weapon
and try to get the natural
It's
healings.
being used by a terrorist organization called Neo Umbrella.
Okay, now that he has his fun, we get to the second section of this chapter. And this one is a little bit painful. Obviously, we have to deal with the They're not called Gigantes, but I don't know the name in RE6, so I'm gonna call them Gigantes. Yeah, so the L Gigantes, they have a nasty habit of interrupting the, I think it's Flynn, right? Or Flynn, something like that. The guy who has to set the bombs. You wanna obviously try to get like the bombs up quickly. But the big guy as well as the low ones, right? They always will interrupt the bomb setting.
We'll give you a hand.
So it's a little bit a test of patience a lot of times. Especially because we don't have guns, so we cannot really pull aggro the way you would when you had access to guns. Like you can just shoot the Gigante, right, and you can kind of force it to come to you, to focus you. But yeah. Here's like 3 spawn points of enemies. They're quite scary because they have access to guns as well. So the most important part here is just try not to get too much damage on yourself, because we really want to conserve those healing items for later in the game. And yeah, just try to stall. Try not to get screwed over by the machine guns. Those are by far the worst enemies.
For the job, man.
Now we can also not really down the Gigantes, so it's not really possible for us to kill them. But the problem is we actually have to down the second one, because the second one he spawns with the plug thingy on his back. It's still inside, and while it is inside, the choppers cannot come and kill the Gigantes for you. So you have to take that out. But that is still a little bit in the future. Another teleporting enemy, thanks to that. Love to see it.
Just need a little more time.
And there we go. So since that is done, we can move now. So now we have to go to the middle building. It's important that you kind of stay close to the door, that because the explosive guy, he has to open the door. So what I like to do here is just I'm camping this spot here, because it keeps you safe from the turrets, from both of them, and wait for this guy to go in here. Now, going straight in here is not a good idea. So there's 2 enemies, and those are, especially the one up on the ladder, the stairs I mean. It is really tanky, and it's one of those machine gun guys. So you see my partner here getting wrecked. But I make the decision to actually focus the guy on top here, because he has such high threat. Take him out and my partner should be fine here. Sometimes taking care of things is better than rushing to aid. So we're gonna do a little bit of a strategy here. When you have the enemies from top here killed, which they are gonna do, we can just camp down here. And that causes 2 things.
Much appreciated.
It's gonna make the Gigante not constantly try to reach up on the building. And it's, I believe, gonna slow down the enemy spawn or something like that. It is the most consistent way to just get the charge off here. Because we have tried in our first run to stay on top. And yeah, that did not work out at all. Because the Gigante would constantly interrupt and we would constantly have to fight a Jarvis that's one up there, right? So waiting down here is a really efficient strategy. We see here he still got interrupted, but it's okay. He's gonna start eventually again. I actually stole the strategy from speedrunners, so... I had actually been considering learning the speedrun of this campaign. Not sure yet if I want to do it, but I feel like, especially after this run, I gain a lot of knowledge for the run. So yeah. Once this is done, we can head to the last one. And at the last one, we also have to make sure to pull that thingy out.
Glad you're on my side.
I also think we're gonna do a tactical restart of the checkpoint here.
There's another giant POW closing in on your location.
The one we want! To our hearts! Alpha, prepare to engage! Only one to go!
Job, Alpha. One gun left. There's another giant POW closing in on your location.
So we can see here this one, right? It still has like the plug inside the bag.
Alpha, prepare to engage!
We're gonna have to pull it out.
Only one to go! Everyone into that underground passage!
Now here, you're actually better off just waiting for the NPCs to go ahead. They will kind of take care of the enemies. You can conserve your health, and you won't have to deal before the machine gun mowing you down. Very important here, we get a green herb, which I think my partner didn't pick up, so I'm pretty sure I told him to pick it up if he didn't. And there's also a red herb there. So we get like 6 tablets, which is very, very good. It doesn't really matter if you waste a little bit of time here, since Chris and Pierce will...
Wait!
Yeah, I was pretty sure he didn't pick up the red herb either.
Fall back!
Wanna make sure to get all of these healing items. Cannot miss out on those.
Glad you're on
As you
my
can
side.
guess, we were not on voice chat, so we did not have direct communication. Obviously we have Steam messages, but yeah. They cleared all the way for us, which is great. Not a very smart idea to type while you're being shot at, but hey, it is what it is. So we are at the last one here, right? We need to pull that thingy out of him. Luckily we're gonna get it by it walking into the electric thingy. That's gonna down it. It's just important to run back and forth here. We can keep the snipers busy. You can actually outrun the bullets, especially if you're like far enough. Okay, let's put the thingy here. Enemy guns in this game are not hit scan, so they have a travel time. They're fast, but they have a travel time. So it's quite possible to outrun if you're just going in the right direction at enough distance. You can even technically duck them or slide or anything like that, right? But that's obviously quite difficult. You have to have pretty good timing for that. I decided to just walk back and forth here on the street to keep the snipers busy, so the rest of the NPCs on my partner can do whatever they need to do. We're getting pretty close. Once we have the bomb set, the chopper is gonna take care of both of the bosses, since he pulled out that plug out of its bag. When it's still inside, the chopper can actually not take him down, so you have to pull that out, sadly.
Great work.
Oh, here I made the mistake. I didn't think there would be enemies down here. So I was
All
like
anti-aircraft
starting
guns have
to
been silenced. Nice
type
work, Alpha. But you're not out of the woods yet.
and got hit
Echo
by
team
enemies.
can't land until
But
you
it
take
is
care
what
of
it
that
is.
other BOW.
Overall, we did pretty well so
See if it
far.
has any weaknesses. Targeting those exposed organs. Fire at will.
A lot of enemies down here, believe it or not. Usually I'm never down here. I just ended up down here because, I don't know, I saw the hole. By chance, so I just went down here. But yeah.
Targeting those exposed organs. Fire at will. Good work out there, Alpha. Echo team will be landing shortly.
I already gave the pilot the coordinates.
Thank you. What was that?
Always important to pick up the healing items, right? We get one of the few first aid sprays here.
Here it comes.
Oh my god.
He doesn't give up.
Oh, here we kind of have to figure out how to do
Shoot him
this,
off or he'll bring us down.
since we did not practice this
50
beforehand.
rounds. I don't mind looking for it a little. This thing is...
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you in danger.
Don't sweat it, kid. This is why you get a big bug.
Glad you're on my side.
Don't worry. Hit him the one, you.
Now with the grenade toss, we're getting close to the end of the section here. We still have to do a little bit more damage, and the grenades certainly are tricky. They have a really big range apparently. Did not think it would hit me there. But yeah, a little bit more damage should do it, and we get the trigger to proceed here. Now for a really long time I actually thought this would just progress when you get more grenades thrown onto the cockpit, so the plane that we are on explodes. But Nope, you actually have to do damage to proceed here. We're not hearing him anymore, so we know the cutscene here is gonna trigger. And there we go, the final part of the chapter. Just gonna save Jake real quick.
This just gets better and better.
Well, he saved.
Just gets better and better.
Now I recommend for this to preemptively duck, because it's kind of hard to react when he actually turns to you to shoot. And once you see your partner being shot at, you know it's gonna be safe. See, he was kind of faking shooting on Jake there. And then boom, he went on me. What I mean he had. But yeah. To get through the section you have to destroy 3 of the choppers at the same time, right?
He's locked onto us.
So if you only like focus on destroying like one at a time,
This is getting a
and too
little
much time
crazy.
passes, they can actually spawn new choppers, so
We've gotta shoot the missiles down.
and then he can just like
Read the
jump
fine
between
print
them.
Before signing up for this.
So you kind of have to destroy all of them at the same time. Now here we have a section where we have to shoot, right? We have to shoot this, so that's what I'm doing. Since I have to actually use weapons due to the gameplay, like being forced, right? Like in the car ride, or like motorcycle ride. I'm the designated person who has to use all the weapons. But yeah, that is chapter 1. Okay, just quickly getting rid of the ammo that we got from the exploding canister we had to shoot. Now for this chapter, the chapter isn't very combat focused, so it's not too difficult. I would say the hardest part about this chapter is probably
There's a shack up there.
the
Finally,
combat
a little
section
luck.
on top of
Okay.
the
First
hut,
we find the data, then we'll take
and
shelter there.
getting up the
So
mountain,
this
which will be my duty here.
It's about me, isn't it?
There are 3 data chips. I lost them in the crash. The
Getting up the mountain can be a bit
locator
painful,
position.
Okay.
because every time you get hit, you actually slide down. But I managed to actually not get hit at all here, so I've been playing this very well.
Wait.
Much
Right.
appreciated. They're Juavo, and they're encased in a cocoon. When they hatch, well, isn't pretty.
Now usually you could just take these out with a flash grenade and be done with, but since we don't have access to that, it's a bit of a pain to kill them, so we just ignore them and hope they're not gonna screw with us. They will fly around and actually follow us, so it can actually quite possibly happen that they screw you over somewhere else, but yeah. The best thing to do here is just to try to get done with this as quick as possible. Now when we face these enemies here, we kind of want to like zigzag up the mountain. Make sure we don't get hit by anything. We also don't want to get hit by the snowmobile, because that thing is really gonna hurt. I'm not sure if it can one-shot you from full health. I think it can. But if it doesn't, it still does
This
a
one
ton
looks
of
okay,
damage.
too.
It also
Okay.
even has a weird
One more
like dash
done.
attack kind of thing, which can catch you off guard. But yeah. Just gotta get that third thingy here, and then we can already progress to the next section.
Found another one.
Also,
That's
key
all
items
decent
like
data
these,
chips.
when you pick them
We're
up,
good
they
to go.
usually have a long animation.
I'm getting into
Where you can
that
actually
gap before
just
I turn
slide,
into a
and
snowman.
while you slide over them, just press the pickup. And you're not forced into the animation, so you can speed up the process of picking them up. And also stay mobile. Beautifully done here. Just gotta avoid the snowmobile here. And now we can slide down. So if you actually get hit by any enemy and lose health, you would be forced to get knocked down, right? And you would slide down, which can make getting up the mountain a bit painful. But yeah, we got this. Very clean run. Now we have to go all the way around. Well, I guess I could have also maybe
Hell yeah!
went up the ladder and take the secret passage. I'm not sure which one is actually quicker. I don't know what causes these explosions. I think the bird enemies can do them. I've never really dealt with those enemies because I honestly, every time I face them, I just throw a flashbang and boom, they're gone. But yeah. We can ignore this cocoon here and just trigger the combat section. So here, obviously, we have the problem that outside there will be enemies that have machine guns. So it's very important to try to not give the machine guns line of sight on you. Don't want to take all the free damage. Luckily, we don't have to kill the enemies outside. There's enough enemies spawning that we can just kill. Also, when the enemies drop down here, if you're fast enough and you're behind them, you can actually melee kill them. And we get a 2-for-1. Beautiful. And we go for a counter here. Counter instant kills these.
Move in.
I thought a god was down here. But it's actually my enemies coming. Gotta get a few more enemies.
Nice one.
And after this one, I believe it should be done. You just wanna try to rush past these. Obviously, they're very scary, they all have guns.
It's an avalanche. Let's get out of here.
Camera is a bit disorientating, because it like kinda goes back and forth. It's probably one of the worst parts of the game, in my opinion. These forced camera transitions, when things happen, can really screw you over. Feels a bit cheap at times when you die like that, but yeah. Now we just have this little section here.
God must really hate us today!
We'll make it. Just keep going. Anyway, I don't hate you.
Oh, great! That helps.
Oh no. Go right.
idea.
Too late now!
Now here's actually a QTE, but only the first person that goes off the cliff actually has to do it, which is a bit weird. But hey, it is what it is. Okay, now that we're in the cave, we are basically
Like a tank.
Glad you're on
in
my side.
an entire
Fine, I
stealth
won't.
section.
Let's go.
Here we can slide to avoid the bats that come out here, out of the wall,
I wonder how
because
deep
they're
this
gonna
mine
stun
goes.
you.
Much appreciated.
Now for the first stealth section here, we can actually just run through. We trigger it,
Jesus Christ.
and we go to the
Does it take to kill
second,
that
what are these thingies called? Dumpster, I think? To hide on them. Very easy.
Moving.
Okay.
Funnily enough, you can actually keep walking
He's found us.
while the other player is still in the animation. So I'm gonna use it to get further ahead, so I can go into the dumpster. Because while one person is activating the dumpster, the other person can actually not use
Quick,
it.
hide.
You kind of have to wait until the other person's animation is finished. And there we go. First part is done.
Shoot, you didn't reach you alive.
I owe you.
Nice one.
The dialogue here can also be very funny. The characters, I like it quite a lot. So yeah. Here we kind of have to wait for that thing to come back here. So we have to wait.
Kill them all.
And that's the second section done as well. If the ice there isn't broken in the cave, it's quite easy because Usama cannot even see you there. If the ice is broken because of whatever you did, then Usama can actually see you, which can make it a bit more difficult.
Jesus,
But
guys,
yeah.
I miss a beat.
Sure can move fast for something that size.
Now for the third section here we have this little maze, but it's actually quite easy to rush through this. We just wanna stand on top here. We're gonna wait for this one to pass and take it out. And I will go ahead to this intersection here. I'm gonna wait for the other one to pass, and then I can take that one out and immediately follow up on the other one. And now we just wait for that one, and we're already at the end of it. Very quick if you know how to do it.
Not bad.
Great work.
I owe you.
But these kind of sections I would also always recommend to not walk the same line as your partner. Because when you have to slide and It's like quite possible when you play with attack reaction that you slide the other person and they gonna get staggered. So I like to just kind of split up, make sure we're not on each other's way, and always make sure to slide early enough so you don't get bonked against the wall. And yeah, here is one section we also have to use.
We can't go
Weapon
anywhere
rewrite,
without that
we
key.
have to use a bomb. Just gonna plop that down. We can activate a bomb before we actually jump up. That gives us like the perfect timing
Move in.
of the Usanak moving and me being able to get a card that we need. Otherwise I would have to wait for him to like move away and run if I would use it later.
What do you think of that, sucker?
Quiet, he'll hear you.
Great work.
I owe ya.
And that is done. We are almost at the end of this chapter actually. A very quick chapter if you know what you're doing. These rotation things are probably the most painful thing ever, especially if you play on keyboard. If you play with controller, they're really not that bad, because you can just rotate both sticks. But every door here takes longer to rotate, and my hands always hurt when I have to do this section.
I knew you'd come through.
Go for an answer.
Also, every door takes longer, so you have to do even more input. Lovely. Now, because my partner used the opening thingy, I had the pleasure of doing the next as well. My hand was hurting here. Don't love it.
I knew you'd come through.
And there we go. Now we just have a QTE section and the chapter's over.
I think this'll stop him.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Not so tough now, are you?
Got him now. Glad you're on my side. Thanks.
Yeah, once my...
Just barely.
And there we go. Now for the opening here, we cannot really do anything. We have to wait for the Jake player to do his thing.
It's quiet out there.
So we're just gonna chill here. Okay, now for this section here, we want to make sure we don't
I'm not
alert the
even gonna attempt
enemies.
to fight until I get a
Because if you
gun.
have to deal with multiple enemies, you're very likely gonna get screwed over really badly, if not even outright die. Luckily, you can replicate this stealth section here every time the same way. Enemies always are the same, so if you just do the same things every time, this is gonna be safe. This guy here looks to the side, but he actually cannot see you.
Jake, you're still alive.
Take out this guy as well. And then here, for the next section, it's very important. When you open the door, you wanna make sure to not run ahead. Because this enemy has, for some reason, increased detection. I tried, like, peeking around or, like, walking ahead, and sometimes it would, like, randomly trigger him. So the best you can do here is just wait here, and when you hear the beep, try to see the password. No, I didn't remember it, sadly. I couldn't memorize it, so
Jawavo can
we're
get
gonna
through,
wait,
so can I. Just need to see how they do it.
and we're gonna look again. Some of these shapes are a lot harder for me to memorize, to be honest. And we have an enemy here, which caused me to glitch out a little bit. Lovely. No, that's fine. Luckily, we didn't get additional enemy spawns, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, if you have like 3 enemies here, you're kinda cooked, to be honest. Now, if you got a password immediately, you might have to wait here for the Czech player to reach the point where they can shoot the enemies here.
Lucky me.
But since I was so slow, he was already here. And yeah, we just put on the password. Now the Czech can use the password to open his door. And we get back our equipment. Well, 99% of which you can use, but...
I have to let my superiors know I'm okay. Great work. First, we need a way to contact them.
For this very first enemy here, it's important to not damage it too much. We want to set up a back melee, because it will cancel the enemy crystallizing and turning into a cocoon. And it's going to immediately drop one of those coins that we have to collect here. So our goal here is to get 10 coins that we need to open that door that we need to go to progress the game. And the enemy is teleporting around. I'm gonna take care of that. Machine gun. Well, trying to. I'm bullying him a little. There we go. So first we're gonna need 3 of those to open one of the doors that we need to get more of them. And in total there's, I believe, 16, but without weapons you cannot even get all of them, I believe. Because one of them is locked behind something you have to explode. Or at least that's normally how you do it. I don't know if there's another way to do it. So we're gonna go the side path because it gets us closer to the enemies that are there. Kinda just wanna control all these enemies here. At least I'm trying to. wanted him to melee him because I don't have stamina. And there we go.
Grazie.
Not sure what he was doing there. What he was cooking. But yeah. So always a bit unfortunate that the print input is the same as the I wanna wall over obstacles, but it is what it is. We get a beautiful double slide here. Set up both of them. So one of the guys can mutate as well. But if you just get these back melees, it also works with wall melees actually, where they cannot mutate if you kill them that way. So a lot of enemies here mutate,
No
but if you
kidding.
kill them that
I
way,
never saw anything outside the one crappy room they had
you
me
can
in.
kind of avoid the trouble. Here with these is the same. One of them is gonna mutate if you kill him normally. So we wanna set up slides again. And that way we don't have to deal with the mutation.
Lights on my side. Thanks.
Now my partner actually didn't know
Lights
about
on
it
my
before.
side.
Thanks.
I teached him that after our first attempt, I think 2
Can't
days
read
ago.
this. Think I need to fit something in there. Jake could probably read this.
So we insert 3 coins here and we open the first pathway. And now we gotta get 7
All
more.
we have to do now is find the rest of them.
Now there's some of the coins that are easier to get than others, so we're gonna focus on them. That's gonna get us enough to get through here. I would highly recommend avoiding the left room here. That one is quite
Name it.
difficult.
They were trying to research the fire.
There's enemies out of reach with machine
Same
guns
thing I
that
went
you
through
cannot
after
take
Raccoon
out,
City.
especially with
It's
melee.
just as shitty the
Very
second time.
painful.
Jeez. I'm sorry.
Now we get a green herb here luckily, and in that room over there there's also a fixed red herb spawn, so we get 1 set of herbs, which is beautiful. Well, if you do this properly, you can sit underneath here, take this, and go out, but yeah, movement input sadly is a little wonky with stuff like that, if you're too close. I'm getting a good amount here of health. Which is really good, because in the next chapter we're gonna need it. Because chapter 4 is by far the most difficult out of them all. So technically there will be a coin here as well. But I believe you have to blow up the place. There's, in the base next to it, there's always a remote bomb that you can collect. But since we don't use any of these kind of things, we have to go for other things. So the reason why I'm walking all the way back here is, I think the spawn condition is to insert 3 coins to trigger the auto pathway. If you go back here, there's a stun rod enemy. That will not be there normally. And if you take him out, he will also give you a coin. I'm pretty sure he normally mutates, so we, as always, gonna back melee. Make it easy for us. So we need 2 more here. There's 1 already over there. And I'm gonna opt to go up here, just try to rush the one in the shelf. Or whatever the thing is called. Try not to get screwed. Can be a bit dangerous because there's like multiple machine gun enemies.
Glad you're on my side.
Thanks.
And now that we have enough, we can head back. He actually got a drop as well. So we got 1 more than we actually need. But it's okay. Or we can just go and not deal with the rest of these enemies. And there we go. Now we have access to the door that we need to progress the game.
Hell yeah!
Much appreciated.
Let's go. These guys aren't much for conversation.
Good. I was sick of this
Best thing
place
we can do
anyway.
here is definitely just rush through. It is very dangerous though, there's a lot of enemies with guns.
Thanks.
Especially the guy here on top, he can really screw you over. You have to watch what he's doing. If he focuses on you, you kind of need to kite on the range, because if you just try to run at him, he's gonna like absolutely murder you. But since he went for Jake there, I took the chance to close the distance.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it's quite easy. Always just go on the opposite side of where the thing is aiming, right? The door is always here on this side. And there we go. This is the last section. Did a little cut there because I died once. So this is actually quite a difficult part on Shari, because we have no way to deal with all of these enemies. And the tank is also putting a lot of pressure. Because the tank can break the walls actually. And the enemies behave weirdly here anyway. Like a lot of times the enemies can just shoot me through the wall. So the strategy that I employ here is just kite the enemies. And try not to die. Which can be quite difficult because you will see we have a really big mob here on our hands. I want to try to get past these so I can get down to the bottom level. Also these enemies here, they start to hurt quite a lot, especially the mutated ones. They can quite easily take 3 or 4 blocks of your health. Basically, we just want to keep these guys here busy that Jake can do his thing. And you can see here, dealing with a Jabo is very unfun. Because there's just so much random damage thrown at you that it is very difficult to actually just avoid it altogether.
Sherry, I found a bike. Just hold on.
Okay.
Now, chip the point here. We're gonna start with this bike section where we have to use the gun. There's sadly no way around it, right? So yeah, this is gonna take a few minutes. So I'll be back with commentary when we're done with this.
city's going to hell in a handbasket. Hey! Shoot that thing, would you?
This is really starting to hurt.
Next time I'll steal a limo! Hold on as tight as you can, okay? Son of a... God damn it!
I can't hold on!
Yes, you can! I'm coming! You okay?
Yeah! Nice catch! The helicopter's back!
Master was waiting for us. Hang on!
They're still on us!
As if we didn't have enough problems!
Watch out!
Here we go! Hold on!
And there we go. The section's over, which means we have a series of really the hardest encounters here for this entire run.
Chris's team will protect us.
We don't need their help! I didn't ask ask for
So there's multiple things that make this encounter in particular very difficult.
All right.
We have the chopper here above us that will constantly shoot at us. We have a lot of enemies spawning from different directions, and they all have machine guns, so that is really difficult to manage. Then we obviously have the problem. Our best way to deal with them is like to kind of slide into them, because it's evasive, it's mobile, it lets us set up instant kills. But the problem with that is that we're obviously gonna eat through our stamina very quick. Also, here there's different elevation here. Even though I set up the coup de grace, when the enemy is on stairs, that kind of messes with like the elevation. Some of your melee attacks will get locked out, which can be really frustrating. And I think another problem here is also that the chopper, it can actually stagger these enemies here, you just saw it. And that can also mess with your melee setups. So this one requires a little bit of patience and not getting frustrated, that's for sure. If it wasn't for the chopper, it would really only be half as bad, but hey, it is what it is. Now, health tablets actually heal both players if you stand close enough. Although it has diminishing returns for the second player that's like nearby. I always try to move close to my partner if I can to spread the healing. Sadly, we don't have accurate health states, right? Because basically we only see our partner's name in either green, yellow, or red. But it doesn't tell us if, you know, the person has like 5 or 6 health when they're in green, or if they have 3 or 4 health when they're in yellow. So that is a little unfortunate. Here you saw it. Because it was one of theirs, I could only do the coup de grace, but I couldn't do the bag melee, which is what I would prefer to use in general. Because the bag melee is a guaranteed kill, because it crits the enemy and it cancels mutations. While coup de grace is just high damage, but it might not be enough damage to kill enemies. It's a bit backwards that like a melee that is easier to set up is stronger than the one that is harder to set up, but hey, I didn't make the rules. So yeah, enemies up here, we cannot take care of them, right? So we basically have to wait for all the enemies to die to proceed. But we have to wait for our NPC companions here to take them out, sadly. So in this section there's actually Chris and Pierce as well. They're like on top of us, basically. And we just have to wait for them to take them out. Well, one enemy decided to be merciful and jump down for us.
I thought we'd be here all night. This way!
Okay.
We still have 10 tablets left and 3 green herbs, I believe, so that means 16 heals in total. But we will burn through these in the upcoming sections quite well. Basically, you definitely want to save up your healing items for Chapter 4. It's by far the hardest. You should have some healing left over for Chapter 5 as well, but yeah, Chapter 4 is by far the hardest for this challenge.
Wait!
Oh, what he's referring to here is
Hell yeah!
we're about to fight a chopper, the one that has been chasing us the entire time. And normally, you have 2 ways to do this. You can shoot it down with the grenade launcher. I had to sneeze. Okay. So you can either use a grenade launcher or you can use Jake's QTE.
I'm taking that chopper
So when a
out.
chopper
With what?
drops off enemies on the other platforms,
Not sure. Kind of making this up as I go.
if the Jake player is underneath the chopper, he can actually
Chris is on the
go
roof trying to take that
up to the
down.
chopper and end the section
Not going too well for him, is it?
end the section early.
Want to show him how it's done?
And sadly, that is the only way we can really do
Well,
this.
I have some explosive rounds that can even the odds.
I think. Here's me. I think alternatively, we could also just wait it out for Chris and Pierce to take care of the chopper. But that is probably gonna take forever. I remember when I was playing this game casually, and I didn't have like explosive rounds, and I only ever play Sherry. I waited at the section here like forever sometimes for it to get taken down by Chris and Pierce. So yeah, basically what I'm doing here is I just keep the enemies busy. I want to try to avoid taking damage to preserve our health items for later. And give Jake the opportunity to camp the platforms in hopes of the rope coming so he can take care of the chopper. The thing here is, if you actually kill these enemies, there will be new enemies spawning. So there's pretty little value in actually taking them out, especially because these are, for the most part, quite easy to take care of if you just run them well in circles and if you're careful. But when new enemies spawn, they can be ones with machine guns and so on. And they're a lot more annoying to deal with than just the grasshoppers here. You also see me trying to slide on them. If you slide at them and you hit their legs, they actually just fall over. It's a pretty good way to control them a little bit. There you saw it just now. And we get a 2-for-1.
Jake, no! You'll be killed!
You know what they say about desperate
Yeah,
times?
based on my voice line there,
Watch and learn.
Jake is climbing up the rope. So we only have to stall a little bit longer, and the section will be thankfully over. Very boring sections, one of my least favorite parts of the entire game, to be honest. It's also the section that makes me kind of not want to speedrun the game. Because with Sherry, you're kind of just fucked, to be honest. And I ain't no playing no Jake. I have maybe played like 3 hours of Jake in my entire life, if even that. A bit unfortunate here that the section didn't end a few seconds earlier. Could have preserved 2 health blocks. But hey, it happens. We're still doing okay.
Come on, let's go. Our orders are to avoid contact with anyone.
Does he know that Wesker was my father?
I don't think so. Why?
No reason. Maybe I just rubbed.
Nice.
Did you even see the kind of helicopter they sent after us? And a bird like that cost around $15 million. Man, terrorism is lucrative.
Maybe they have an oil baron or two in their pocket.
Oil barons. You know, in the country I was born in, people think Uncle Sam causes most of the problems in this world.
Yeah, sure. Everyone loves to blame America for everything. We're not the bad guy, Jake. Look, these terrorists have unleashed bioweapons on our country,
Wait.
too.
So the whole world's going to hell.
And you're the only one who can save it.
Well, shit. As long as there's no pressure, right? Nice.
Thanks.
Man, everywhere you look, there's more of these assholes. Ducks being so fun.
There's no sneaking around them, is there?
So here we just want to take care of the enemies. A bunch of them mutate as well, so you know the drill by now. We want to try to do those back melees and get the cancels so they can't mutate. Want to make sure to pick up the green herb here as well. Healing is very valuable.
On my side.
Healing also rarely drops randomly, so yeah. Very important to get those heals with you when you can. Kind of just waiting for them to close the distance, because we don't want to get too close, or else those machine guns in the back are gonna attack us as well.
Great work.
Okay, no, we want to ignore the other guys here. It's not really worth trying to take care of them. There's like 3 machine gun guys, and all of them are gonna mutate. It's really not worth the hassle. Best we can do is try to pull the aggro here, so the Jake can get up. He made it now, and now he can open the door. We're just gonna wait here, so we cannot get shot.
Jerry, it's
And when he opens the door, we're just gonna try to get through. I always like to do like little tactical resets here, just to make sure that the enemies despawn. Again, I'm trying for these back melees, right? And when you see me delay my melee attack, sometimes it's because I'm trying to recover my stamina a little bit. And there we go. I think he was aiming for the cocoon here. Not sure. Now when you get up here, I highly recommend, if you try to do this challenge, to after one person jumps down and the checkpoint is triggered, to just restart the checkpoint, because otherwise one player will have to be on this top floor, right, where you have to go this small paths. We don't have a gun, and the machine guns and so on can just gun you down, and you can also not help your partner down there. So it's best to just reset the checkpoint here
Too bad the fall didn't knock the
and
lights
go
out.
together.
Much appreciated.
There we go. Now that we're together, we can actually do this. This section can be very, very painful here. Especially at the last part. There is a lot of machine guns, and it's extremely difficult to deal with those. So here we wanna kind of do the same strategy as before, right? We wanna let the enemies come to us, so we don't have to deal with additional enemies that are further back.
Great work!
Wait!
Always getting shot at as soon as I try to type. It's bad, man. I wasn't sure what he wants to do here, so I was waiting. If he wants to take care of the cocoon or not. I had the feeling he wants to take care of the cocoon, so I decided to kill it. So the stun rod actually has like a very high damage multiplier on the cocoons. It is very, very effective at killing it, so as Sherry you can quite easily break the cocoon just wailing on it with your stun rod. I'm not sure if it's faster to charge your attacks or if it's better to just repeatedly smash them. But yeah, there we go. So here we have to split up again, and this is a really, really frustrating part. This can go wrong in so many different ways. Here we got a bit lucky because the enemies here, they are stacked together. The knockdown was a little unfortunate, that it pushed me under the thingy here. So here we are actually lucky as both of the enemies are on the same side. If they are like split on this gap here, you're kind of cooked. It's really difficult to get through there. So yeah, here's a green herb as well. We want to pick that up if you can. Really unfortunate we couldn't get down. And yeah, you can see why this section here can be extremely painful. You want to take cover. Can still get hit, which is really unfortunate. Try to open this for the shake, and then we'll see. Now, if you fail this repeatedly, it's honestly not your fault. The 8 is just a really painful section. You need a decent amount of luck there as well. Now here I didn't expect the enemies actually to be able to shoot you from over there. So I got hit there for free, which is unfortunate. Although I'm not sure if I could even have done much about it, even if I have noon. Since, you know, there's just like 4 guys shooting at you. So yeah, he was just telling him, don't waste heals if you don't have to. Like, there's no point here being full health, because the changer's just gonna like put you in dying state anyway. So we wanna try to preserve these healings. Only heal what is necessary. So first we wanna take care of the Chavo that is here on the right side of me. And after that we have like a 2v1 where we can focus solely on the boss.
You'll be ripped to shreds!
Now I would say this is the first part that really required some practice. Basically a strategy here that we came up with was I bait his attacks while the Jake charges up his like ranged dash attack, and I'm trying to pull him here over here because I like this section better to bait, but the Jake pulled him all the way over there. Now this is really scary because all of the attacks are basically one-hit kills, and as you can see the attacks can be a bit erratic. Now if you get to this part here, you can kind of bait it into doing like very easy to dodge things. And that way I'm just trying to buy the Jake some time to get melee attacks on here. Now, as I got better in practice, I actually realized you can get a lot more free damage here. I could have definitely gotten more hits. But I was definitely very scared at the beginning here. And also the fact that I'm like playing PoV with someone, right? So I didn't want to like constantly die by trying to push my damage. But we ended up doing that for the refight anyway, because that fight is a lot more difficult, and we had to find a way to get over that. So you'll see when we find this enemy again, I will actually be way more confident in like how to deal with it. Now some of these attacks are very punishable. In these short swings here, the scary part is just that if you try to swing and you accidentally get a quick attack while you're trying to bait, you will likely die. The quick attack animation is so long that you basically don't have time to walk away like you normally would do. And what you can do is still you can try to use the dodge function, right? But depending on which option the boss chooses, he can still catch your dodge option, so yeah. This would be a lot easier if you could just disable the quick attack for it, to be honest, to make it like safer to just swing normally. Also, if anyone just had the idea, oh, why didn't you just like glitch out the enemy on the geometry, you know, make the enemy like climb up or like jump up the ladders or go consecutively over the fences? The reason why we didn't do that is because in the refight you don't have anything to help you out. Like in fact the refight is even harder because you have normal enemies to deal with as well. So we wanted to do the fight as limited as possible to get like proper practice for the refight. That's kind of the whole reasoning why we didn't decide to go for like a cheese strategy here. Now after this big swing here you have like a really large amount of time. One of the scariest parts is for sure the 180 turn. Because after the turn, if you like walk behind him to pull aggro again, it is very likely that he can like do random options like the repeated swing where he just runs forward right and like swings repeatedly. And that is by far the thing that killed me the most trying to bait. So I would recommend if you try to do this, a bait strategy. If he does the 180 turn, just don't try to walk in front of him. Because so many times he will randomly hit you with something you couldn't have like predicted. But these things, a lot of times, like the best thing is just to do like the most consistent strategy, right? There you saw. This is what I mean. You get a quick attack, you try to dodge. I've been raging about quick attacks so much during this run, and you saw he did the option where he like changed the ground, and yeah, that just clips me. But if he does to the left instead of the right that I chose to do, right, and he does the normal swing, he has a chance to hit you on his right side if you dodge left. So yeah, quick attacks is just something you do not want to do. And the thing is, where every little bit of time matters, right? When you're trying to be really efficient with your time, you'll just sometimes get a quick attack. It obviously doesn't have that. I also have latency. Since we're playing from really far apart, which also makes it a lot scary. You can sometimes see the enemy teleporting around or like moonwalking, right? Rubber banding, stuff like that. Yeah, that definitely didn't help with like my fears of that. Quite tedious. We died a lot of times here. Chapter 4 definitely took us the longest to beat. There you see. This is such a scary attack. This is by far the most scary. And after the 180 turns it does it quite a lot. You see, as it like tries to turn and stuff, I don't even like walk up, because if it does like the repeated slashes, it will catch you off guard and it's really inconsistent. Sometimes safety is just way more important. Try to get those safe hits in if you can. And again, the quick attack, but luckily didn't do the option where it chainsaws the ground, so the dodge roll still worked, right? But yeah, you definitely want to avoid these quick attacks. I think this fight here and all the fights with the chainsaw were by far the most stressful ones. Because if these normal attacks here hit you, right, you don't even get put into dying state, you like instantly die. So every time you do a major mistake, you have to restart the fight, and as you can see, the fight takes a really long time. Luckily, the attack where he chainsaws the ground, where he got hit earlier with when I tried to dodge after the quick attack, luckily that one puts you in dying state, but if the chainsaw like directly slashes you like this, you would just instantly die. I think we should be getting pretty close here to the kill. Very, very scary. Luckily it didn't get a full hit on me, or else it would have been instant death. And there we go. It even happened one hit before before we killed it. How sad would have that been?
Take that, you piece of... Did that do it?
Great work! I think he's down.
He decides to be back there.
Hell yeah!
So yeah, this already took us quite a lot of tries, but it's actually gonna get worse. Luckily not in the Usonak fight. The Usonak fight is really not that difficult.
It's American!
Much appreciated. Watch out for his arm!
We had actually not practiced this fight before. So there's one major difference in this Usonak fight compared to the very first one in Chapter 1. Here Jake cannot just repeatedly stun the Usonak with certain attacks, so there's no way for us to play for Jake basically 1v1ing again by playing a hit and run tactic with stuns. So we have to play this more normal. Luckily we do have the advantage of having Leon and Helena. I mean, we cannot stop them from using guns, you know, so they will be pew-pewing it. I was still here trying to figure out how exactly to fight this, to be honest. One thing I think that's definitely good is like if Helena or Leon get captured by it, because you can kind of walk up and do like a coup de grace and stuff. It buys you like a lot of time for getting some free damage on it. I'm always only using one health tablet, because if you don't use a healing item to revive your partner, the next time they would get put into dying state, they will instantly die. And they will also not have stamina. So they have to recover 1 health at least to be able to properly play the game and not be at risk of instantly dying. So here I've also been trying to maybe try the base strategy that I did with the chainsaw, right? Now there's certain attacks that are like really punishable. Now the reason why a lot of these attacks I don't want to try to go for this is because of this. If you try to hit him and you cancel your attack with like the backwards dodge with the sun rod, if he kicks you, you're screwed. You can dodge the other attacks like that, but not the kick. So again, we're at the point of like consistency, right? That was a little unfortunate. I don't know why my sound is buggy, but it is what it is. That's what I mean with your ally getting captured. You get a lot of free damage. So the first section here is over, he's gonna disappear to get weapons. I was calling for the reset. I think reset would have been helpful to preserve health items. Because I think you can quite easily do this fight without getting hit once. But my fight really isn't all too bad. The problem is really just what comes after, which is why I kinda wanted to preserve more health items.
Are you okay?
Compared to raccoons.
But yeah. Here we just have to get the bus running.
I was too young to understand what was happening back then. Come on, we should get back. We need our help.
I think I can fix this. Sherry, get behind
And it's time for the most terrible driver in the universe to drive a bus.
Okay, let's move.
Roger!
How is he still standing?
So yeah, with this,
Don't get me
this is
started.
gonna solve the
But maybe
last part of the
four of us
fight.
can stop him once and
I
for
think we're
all.
gonna restart here, because he's gonna die, yeah. But we just had a checkpoint here with the bus, so it's not a big deal.
How is he still standing?
I have to say I didn't like that he pushed down the barrels here on the floor. Because they kind of block your path, you cannot like walk or run or like dodge through them. So it makes it a bit awkward. And it basically doesn't give us any benefit. Usually it would be like in the very first fight, right? Against Snake in Chapter 1. Where we use the red barrels. Here you can kind of do the same by using those explosive canisters, whatever they are. But we have no way to trigger them, so putting them on the floor basically just reduces our maneuverability. Now when he does those shotgun shots, we actually get like a good amount of time to get some free damage on him. Now this attack is very, very punishable. The overhead swing attack is definitely one that you want to have happening.
Nice one.
So he's gonna switch his weapon here, I believe.
Give him credit. At least he came prepared.
I was hoping you were exaggerating.
That kick has some reach. Kick is by far his Gary's option, probably. Yeah, he'll slam again, 3 damage for us. You also have to be very careful when you're behind him, because he can do this very quick backhand attack where he like smacks the ground behind him. Also, these sound bugs are very unpleasant. But there's not much I can do about that. He's switching weapons, so we have like a little downtime here where we can hit him. Well, he's not even switching weapons, he just takes it off. I don't know why. Maybe it's like broken or something. Either way, he doesn't have like a second weapon now. Which is good, I guess. And there we go with like the quick swing behind him. Very deadly. We should be getting pretty close here to killing him. And there we go.
Leon! We're gonna head to the Wu Lung building over in Kuchang!
I'm kind of looking for some healing items here, but I don't know if there can even spawn any healing items. It might look like we still have plenty of healing, but we're about to face the probably hardest part of this entire challenge. The refight with the chainsaw. It is very, very frustrating. I think that part definitely took us the longest to beat, by far. You also see at the chapter end there, we will have put a lot of time into this chapter.
Kucheng is up ahead, at the mouth of the river.
All right, come on. You worried about Simmons, right?
Great work!
Jesus Christ!
But there's a bunch of flying enemies here spawning, right?
Watch out!
When you jump over to the boss platform, you actually trigger a checkpoint. So you can just restart the checkpoint to despawn those enemies if you want to.
This day's never gonna end, is it? Come on!
Okay. So the strategy here is kind of me 1v1ing the chainsaw, but it's not quite a 1v1 because there's enemies constantly spawning. While Jake takes care of the main spawn point on the other side.
Someone's shooting at us!
You can also see here I've gotten a lot more confident in how to fight this. The only problem is like these additional enemies you can already see in the background here, 2 machine guns, right? And I got like machine gun comboed into the chainsaw. Very, very deadly, very scary. This part is for sure quite miserable to play, I'm not gonna lie. If you melee him from the front, we get like a coup de grace input. I don't know how they're not quite enough to kill it. Quite tanky, these enemies. Now the thing is also with the chainsaw, right, it can do collateral damage, but it also leads to a lot of the enemies mutating, which can make things very, very messy. You see here, even more machine gun spawning. It is rough, I'll tell you. Wanna try to get these heals before I lose the health block to get like 2 health blocks healed. But yeah, you can see this is a shit show. Now what we actually didn't know before we finished this fight, because in regular play it would never actually happen, because the fight would never take so long. This is actually not infinitely spawning enemies. I honestly thought it were. I really assumed that there will be an infinite amount of enemies spawning. But as we realized here in this try, the one that we managed to beat it, there are actually only a finite number of enemies. And that's kind of what gave us the W in the end. So here the hardest part really is just avoiding these enemies, not getting one shot. And I guess I just let the footage speak for itself, and I'll be back with more commentating when we get over the section. And there we go. That is it.
I think he's
That
dead.
part probably took us by far the longest out of
Let's hope
anything
it
in the game.
sticks.
We died so many times here.
Glad you're on my side.
It didn't help that at first I thought time was playing against us. If I had known that like there's only a finite
Think
amount
I
of
found another
enemies,
boat.
I would have not went for the strategy of trying to get damage done while there's enemies going on, right?
Just saw
And I would
some
have
sort of
instead
light or
preferred to
something in
just
the
play
water.
for time, let the chainsaw take care of a lot of enemies, try to avoid damage, and once we get like the clean 2v1, then try to go for that.
Jesus Christ!
But yeah, there's not much to say for the rest of the section, so I'm gonna be back for chapter 5.
What the hell was that?
I don't know, but whoever they are, they just saved my life.
Over there. That's the rendezvous point. Glad you're on my side.
Worst boat ride since the Titanic. Shit! Sherry!
Jake!
Nice one. Nice one.
So yeah, as you can see, that took us quite a while. Luckily, Chapter 5 will be a lot simpler again. We don't have a gauntlet of very difficult situations.
What the hell just happened?
Ugh, of course. They took our weapons.
Hey, there's our gear.
How do we get in there?
Good luck.
Thanks. Thanks.
Now for this part here, usually you're supposed to take the gun, right, and shoot the door.
Sure?
I wasn't
Hey,
sure if
let
you
down
can
the
actually
door.
press it yourself.
From climbing through those air ducts.
As you can see, I was experimenting a little bit. Sadly, you are forced to shoot this lock.
Hey, break down the door. Save me from climbing
I don't
through
have
those air
ammo, so I have to go to the table and pick up some ammo. Yeah, really unfortunate that the game forces you to use a gun
Hey,
so many
break down the
times.
door. Save me from climbing through those air ducts.
So yeah, I'm just gonna waste my ammo here, shooting on the ground, and then we continue onward as normal.
My pleasure.
So I believe here you have to break the thingy in half, basically, to trigger the doors opening. And there we go. Now it will be just a lot of like movement, activating different kinds of levels and stuff.
Electricity temporarily rerouted to incubation.
So we don't really have to fight too much until we
To
reach
activate elevator,
later parts
please
of this
attach
chapter.
Reserve battery.
Reserve battery?
Where the hell is it?
Won't know till we find it.
Reserve battery 1 activated. 25% charged.
We gotta get more? Damn it.
Unfortunate chain of events. He pushed me away from my button prompt, and because I had to do this awkward
That's hardly
movement,
practical. We got no
he got
choice.
slapped in the face.
Really? There's no other way up? Oh well.
I don't know why sometimes they don't put. It's being weird. It happens. I just have to wait for another round. It's really difficult to jump across this gap, obviously.
Follow me.
But I managed to do it on the second try.
Much appreciated.
Reserve battery 2 activated. 50% charged.
I'm getting lost, I know. I always get lost here. But it's okay. I found a way now. There's a green herb here if you want to pick up for sure. If it lets me. And there we go. Here if you just split up and like quickly go to the thingy, the enemies cannot really do anything to us. No, the thing here is also with the enemies, if you don't know. If you kill those enemies, they will actually revive themselves after a while.
Reserve battery 3
So
activated.
killing them is not really an
75%
option.
charged.
One more left.
Move in!
So here we have to briefly split up. Because we have to get to a room that is like split in the middle. Okay, now that we get to the top elevator, we can reach a room that we have to go. Same as before, we have to split up, right? As I said. I was just looking around if there might be a green herb or anything here. And I took 3 damage for no reason. Let's not talk about that, okay? It happens. So there's really nothing I can do here to help the Jake. All I can do is wait. So what he has to do here is basically break the enemy in half. Kind of like the very first door that we had in the chapter here. Now, eventually they will drop an enemy down here too, but I can kind of ignore it. There we go.
Unexpected power surge detected. Please use elevator for evacuation.
Hell. First there's no power, now there's too much?
At least the elevator works.
We have to find a way to stop this.
That crane might do the trick.
I was worried here that he got grabbed. The enemy here has an instant kill grab, so you kind of have to help if they get grabbed from that.
I knew you'd come through!
I'm fresh out of patience, pal.
Now if you want, you can kill the enemy here, but it doesn't really do anything. I prefer to just, like, kite the enemy. If you're on the ground like I am here, you're actually immune to these staggers. Like you see, the enemy and Jake, they get staggered every time the elevator moves. But I'm just chilling here. If he wants to have his fun, so be it. I'm gonna relax. Here we did a little shortcut because we had a weird bug that restarted the section multiple times. I don't know why that happened. I've never seen it before. It just made us fail the QTE here repeatedly. And honestly, you only have to press spacebar multiple times, so I don't know how that caused us to fail, but it did.
Jump!
So yeah, we were just wondering what was happening with that weird interaction that forced us to restart the section. He's sneaky. He moved to it when I was going away. Unfortunate. I was looking if there's maybe a healing item or something. Not that it was very helpful to begin with, but you never know.
Guys,
Now, if
I think
anyone's
this is
played
some
this
sort of
elevator
lift.
section
There's
here
one over there,
on
too. Let's get out of here.
No Hope or Professional, you might know that this can be quite
What the
painful.
hell is this?
Luckily we got through it first try.
Unless we
I
stop.
imagine this part to be really annoying too.
So, if that giant cocoon hatches,
We're in trouble.
So the scary thing here is
Yeah, just
that there is these range enemies, right, that are like kind of in the walls here in the section. And they have like sniper rifles, machine guns, rocket launchers.
You know, you didn't have to put yourself on
So
the
they
line
put a
like
lot of
that.
pressure on us here,
Wesker served what he got.
and we cannot really stop them from doing that.
He kept this world safe. You're still his father.
Kid had the
But
right to
luckily
know.
we got through quite well.
Well, I'll tell you this much. You'll say a lot for adventure working with you.
Sorry. I know it's never been easy being my partner.
When we get out of here.
Again, very useful to do those back melees, because a lot of these enemies here that will mutate.
listen, Jake,
Spare me the lecture, all right? We need to find a way out of here.
I was only trying to... Look, when this is over, please, just talk to Chris. And knock down the barrel of a gun, okay?
It's my problem, not yours. Besides, I don't want to think about that asshole or my father right now. I'm gonna worry about them.
I was
and
switching to the
when
gun
we
here
get outta
so
here.
I have access to the dodge rolls to the side if I need them. Because they are better than the stun hold dodge.
Hell yeah!
Teleporting enemy, love to see it.
Move it!
Barely scraping by with that stamina. Couldn't get a recovery in time sadly, so I had to use a tablet. That is one of those rocket launchers that I mentioned. Very scary. I think if you get hit by a rocket launcher shot, it takes 5 blocks of your health, so it's very deadly. Does a directed outright kill you? I'm not sure. It might just put you into dying state. Just trying to dodge all of these bullets. And we see the platform with the ladder, so we're at the end here. And that means we're already going into the final boss fights.
On
I'm
my
through with
side.
this. Where's the exit?
We gotta be close. Glad you're on my side.
Hell yeah!
I was hoping there might be healing items somewhere, maybe. Because we are pretty low on health. But we have not been blessed. As I said before, I'm not sure if healing items can even spawn randomly. Unless you're like, probably literally out of healing items and you're low health. That generally forces healing items to spawn, at least it does in RE5, so I would assume it probably functions similarly here as well.
Move in.
Jerry, we gotta take this fight somewhere else.
Let's do it.
So during this animation you have a lot of time to get free damage on him.
Keeps on up in his game.
The most reliable way to fight him is actually to bait this long range attack that has this wind up animation here.
Nice hit, Jerry.
And we can get like one slide attack. If you get the timing right, you can also get like a standing attack as well here. Sadly, it's a bit difficult with the hitboxes, right? Especially with the slide attack. Doesn't properly hit. But yeah, as of that, stun roll is kind of just a crappy weapon. You have to be very careful with the wind up animation, because if he does the other one, where he swings around himself, if you try to slide underneath him, he will hit you. But that's kind of why you have to dodge that particular attack. And this is the other one here that I mentioned. This will hit on the ground around him as well a lot of times, so it is very unreliable to try to dodge that. It's better to just stay away from it. Try to bait this. There. This is by far your best bet to get damage on him. And we're just gonna repeat it until we hopefully get the kill. Okay, now for the last phase here. We kind of want to do a similar approach with like trying to avoid attack and then attacking him during the downtime. Now there's two major differences. He has a new attack where he creates, where he does this overhead swing. You cannot slide underneath this, by the way, it's like gonna hit you. But it's a great opportunity to do damage, but the problem is at least these lava puddles on the ground. And yeah, basically a big part is playing around these lava puddles. They hurt quite a lot, and they can easily take chunks of your health. No, this is not the only way he can create lava puddles here, but it's the main one. And luckily that gives us like a pretty good opportunity to actually do some damage. Sometimes he will have lava puddles directly underneath him, so I think it's better to wait them out and make them disappear than trying to get damage on him. Here he does a swing again. Swing is by far one of the most dangerous things. So much screen shaking. I was really worried about him there. It looked really scary. The turnaround on this attack is deceptively large. I didn't expect that to hit me, because he was kind of looking in a different direction. He wants here to come with him, so he can use his first aid spray. One of our last healing items. Beautiful dodge. Now if you're wondering where these item drops come from, those lava pools, they actually spawn items when they despawn. So it's kind of meant to be like a, you know, oh, I'm out of ammo, how do I like fight this boss now, right? And these lava pools basically create an infinite supply of drops for you if you can dodge the enemy long enough. Can be a bit difficult to avoid these lava pools because you have barely any fuel behind you, right? I guess you could look away from the enemy if you want. Now here you have to be kind of careful because this explodes. Usually this attack was really punishable in the previous fights, right? But here you have to be careful because it explodes, creates a lava pool. As you can see, it makes it a little bit awkward to try to hit him. I believe we're getting pretty close here to the kill. And there we go. Now the rest of the campaign is how it would normally be, right? You don't have to weapon anyway. So you're kind of forced into melee combat here for the last part. Well, it is really more Jake doing a 1v1 while you support him with the machine. That bugged out from me anyway, by the way, but yeah. I guess I don't have to say any more to this run, so I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I hope maybe you learned something new about the game. And maybe you will attempt a challenge like this yourself, so good luck with that.
I'll cover you!
Thanks.
That's it, Jake! You got it! You can do it, Jake! Get him!
Nice!
That's it, Jake! You got it! You can do it, Jake! Get him! That's it, Jake! You got it! You can do it, Jake! Get him! You can do it, Jake! Get him! Glad you're on my side!
Fuck off! Take that! You like that? Die already!
Glad you're on my side!
Finally killed him.
Piece
Great
of
work!
cake.
Rods.
Right! Whoa! This is fast!
Yeah, and there's no goddamn steering! Christ almighty! What does it take to lose this guy?
Come on! We have to move further out!
Jesus, take the hit!